Holy shit. What a moment. Welcome to MMA Al Dente. I'm here to talk about Leon Edwards knocking out Kamaru Usman. Holy shit. That was fucking amazing. That was just such a surprise in so many different ways. I mean, one of the most cinematic endings to a fight ever. Just one of the most cinematic fights in itself, where Leon was, and maybe it wasn't the most dramatic fight, but that was something out of a movie where, all right, the guy's down, and in the 25th minute of the 25-minute fight, he kicks him in the head and knocks him out. Fucking, I'm still astounded. I've rewatched it 1,000 times, the knockout anyway, and a good bit of the fight. But, man, the fight was Kamaru Usman's fight. Usman looked as good as he's ever looked. And I think out-wrestling Leon Edwards is a really tall order, and Usman showed he still had the wrestling to get it done. Coming into the fight, in the pre-fight video, I predicted Usman would win. I thought it would be a decision. I thought it would be a boring wall install decision because I didn't think his wrestling would be as effective, actually getting Leon Edwards to the mat. And although there was a lot of wall install, Usman's wrestling was effective, and Leon Edwards on his feet at range was not as effective as I had expected him to be. Same goes for Jose Aldo, too, where Leon just, and of course the threat of the takedown and actually being slammed on your ass will throw you off, I'm sure, but I expected more from him while he was on his feet. And right before he knocked out Kamaru, that was the story in my head is, Leon Edwards, not only did he not try as hard when he was on his feet and he had, an even a level playing field, if not an advantage on the feet like I thought he would have, but he doesn't have the knockout power to really put Kamaru Usman away. That's what I thought in the middle of the fight. And, of course, coming into the fight, like I said, everybody's got power and whatever. Yeah, they've got the power. But, Matt Serra had the power to knock out GSP. I'm sure I've got the power to knock out Ngannou. Yeah, it can happen. But Leon Edwards has been in the cage a dozen plus times, and he's only produced one knockout, and it was over the ghost of Seth Baczynski. And, he TKO'd Peter Sabota with 1 second left, I think. But he doesn't get the knockdowns, let alone the knockouts. It's just not there for him. He's not a powerful striker. He's a volume guy, and he's good at fighting at range, and he's a good grappler as well. He's a great fighter in his own right, but I didn't think he had what he needed to have to capitalize on any moment of even fighting with Kamaru Usman, where he wasn't just being dominated. And with 1 minute left, he got it done. He threw a perfect, Rogam's all over it. He masked the head kick with a straight left, and boom, Usman dodges the straight left and got hit with that head kick. It was similar to Dominic Cruz, only I think that was just a naked kick there. But that was amazing. It was right on the button, and for Leon Edwards to be down in a 25-minute fight, to be losing 3 rounds to 1, but and losing the 5th round, in my opinion, to just be down and out and need a knockout where you got to knock the guy dead. And for him to get it done against the best fighter in the world who's never been knocked out, for that to all come together in the last minute of the fight makes this just insane. That fight went from being like a 4 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10, maybe a 9 out of 10, let's be honest. It wasn't the greatest fight, but still, it was a high-level fight between two high-level fighters, and what was 12 hours ago, whatever, the best fighter in the world. And we got a fucking beautiful, epic story, epic comeback, and a violent upset. That was shocking. Usman went down. There was no follow-up shot. There was none needed. You could see in the replay he was out. And, man, Leon Edwards walks off the welterweight champion of the world. I'm still in shock. for Leon to put it all together and actually land that knockout blow over a guy with an iron chin who's taking it all and whatever, that was amazing. Nobody's gotten through to Kamaru Usman, and Leon Edwards finally did. I hope what he takes from that Leon is he's got to throw more, not to be whatever, but in fights in which he's winning, I feel like he needs to throw more. Or he needs to just become more dangerous on the feet, A lot of times he's scaring his fighter out of offense instead of knocking him out of the fight. And Leon Edwards has knockout power. He's a big, strong, athletic welterweight who's got really sharp striking technique. On that alone, he should be putting more guys away, but he doesn't. And here in the Kamaru Usman fight, I was mad at him because I know he was exhausted and the lactic acid builds up in the shoulders and whatever the fuck. But he wasn't doing as much as he needed to do, not to win rounds and not to win the fight when he was able to battle with Usman. It was just Usman stalking him, and Usman, although it wasn't much of a striking battle, Usman had some pretty nice moments on the feet as well, bullying Leon against the cage. And again, at least half of that is the takedown / threat of takedown. Usman, he's able to throw his hands because he's got that fear in his opponent. And Leon Edwards, look, no matter how you slice it, this is a historic win. I don't know about the Hall of Fame and whatever. I can't even think about that right now. But he's got a legacy. He's got 11 or 12 fights unbeaten, and he knocked out Usman to take the title. That's amazing. He's got a legacy, and his next fight, I'm assuming it'll be a pay-per-view against Kamaru Usman. Although, if Usman's out for a little bit, then maybe Leon will fight someone else. But I'm thinking Usman's done enough where his next fight is for the title. And I know the UFC is interested in Khamzat Chimaev and whoever else. Won't be long before Khamzat is in the ring fighting for a title. But anyway, Kamaru Usman, he's in his mid-30s. I think he's 35, 36. And to be knocked out like that for the first time, that's a big moment. This could be a pivotal moment. I'm not saying he's going to have a weak chin. I'm just saying it's a possibility, And I'm not going to pretend to be an expert where chins don't get better or whatever, but I know chins often get worse. And to suffer a big, clean knockout like that in your mid-30s, especially when you've already talked about having your eye at the end of the road there, you're got 1 foot out of the sport. Not that Usman was quite there yet, but he was talking about it. That's just doesn't really bode well for... I don't want to say, if it doesn't bode well for his future. He can still win every fight, but he's not going to be fighting for too much longer, I think. That for a guy that talked about retirement before this fight, being in the near future, knockout loss, even though that may make him want to get it back, and I'm sure he will. It's long term. I think Kamaru Usman is absolutely not long for the sport. But anyway, they will rematch, I think, as long as Usman's healthy and whatever. And when they do, look into it a little more, but just gut instinct, it's Kamaru Usman's fight to lose. Leon Edwards, and he will be more aggressive. I'm sure he'll be looking to touch that chin. But Kamaru Usman is going to be looking to hit that double leg and drive Leon to the cage. It was effective, whatever it was, 7 years ago, and it was effective last night. He was bullying him around for the better part of that 24 minutes. But anyway, epic win. Leon was very emotional afterwards. Gave some great quotes, calling his mom backstage and whatever. A lot of great footage for this one. Kamaru Usman was asking the ref what happened and whatever. I'm sure, if you don't watch the Thrill and the Agony on the UFC's YouTube page, you should check that out. It'll be released in like a week or two. But they do them for pay-per-views where they get up close and personal for the main event and the co-main event and show you everything, The Thrill and the Agony. It's good if you want to watch fighters cry, But anyway, fucking epic moment. Like I said, this fight went from being a 4 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10. It was amazing. I've already rewatched that knockout 1,000 times. And man, talk about it all coming together. Leon Edwards, like I said, down and out. Had one knockout over the ghost of some veteran back in his second UFC fight. And now he's fighting the guy that kicked his ass, has been kicking his ass tonight, never been knocked out, and he's got 1 minute to make something happen. Finally throws a high kick, which, I don't remember any really big strikes from Leon Edwards in that fight. And boom, that's all it took. That's all she wrote. Fucking amazing. Great night. Not the greatest night of fights, to be honest, but still, what a way to end it. That was and I don't know how to put it in perspective. It's one of the greatest head kick knockouts, one of the greatest knockouts, one of the greatest comebacks, one of the greatest upsets. I got to sit down and analyze this, as does everyone else. I'm sure you guys have it in your your top 5 or whatever. You got to think about it, but it's up there, right? There's no way it's not up there. That was an epic moment, and I'm happy that Leon finally got his day in the sun. And up next, it's either Kamaru Usman or Khamzat Chimaev or Nate Diaz. Imagine that. But, fucking, that's what you get for being the champ, and at least he'll get some pay-per-view points out of it. And I'll tell you, I won't count Leon Edwards out of any fight. And can't wait to see what's next. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I did. And I will talk to you in about 2 minutes when I release the next video.